Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500, welcome back to a different outlook. I'm in a nice residential road here, and I've just got off a couple of buses, not at the same time obviously. Just got off a bus and I'm walking to collect a new project. I've had this project before, all will be explained, but a bit of a sad story this one, so stay tuned. And when we get it back home, I'll explain all. So see you shortly. Okay, here it is. So I don't know whether this car was sold by me back in October 2019. So that was before I started recording for the channel. I did I did take pictures. Every car I've done, I've taken before, during and after pictures, which this one is obviously part of as well. But this wasn't videoed when I did this car. But I'll stick some photos up now to show you what the car looked like when I bought it. There wasn't that much damage to it, has to be said. So yeah, October 2019. Let's show you around it first, and then we'll talk about why I've got it. So, as you can see, bit of an issue here with the front bumper. There's had a little push there, which is, not only has it broken that, headlight's alright, it's caused that as well. So I will have a go at repairing that as best I can. I'll plastic staple it from the front, from the back, push it in. It's proud at the moment, as you can see. So it needs sort of lining up, and we'll see what we can do with that. I don't want to go too mad and painting and what have you, but I'm just going to sort of tart it up to a degree. So obviously the bumper's got to come off. The DRL, chances are it's probably the mounting bolts, so they'll be plastic welded back on again and all put back together. It's extremely dirty. It has been sitting around for 3 months, and not even been started for that 3 months. It's been sitting on the driveway of the house, not this house, the house where I got it from. So it's a 2012 1.2 lounge, normal spec. The back of it is all okay, nothing at the back. It's still for some reason got the old number plate on, and when I went over to have a look at it, I noticed that the new number plate, which is the number plate that I got made, which is on the front, in-car products, which has come from eBay, is sitting unused in the boot. So for some reason I didn't put it on the back, and obviously just kept it in the boot, and it's been there ever since. The MOT history, strangely, on the current MOT, which was done in January, says that the rear suspension's rusty, and so's the exhaust. Now, when I was there, I forgot about the exhaust, but when I got the car, I recall seeing pictures of the exhaust-ish, and it looked fairly good, fairly new even, I'd go as far to say. I remember buying the bumper that had the holes in it, and I put those sensors in. Now I don't recall that working when I put the when I went in reverse earlier. There was no beeping noise of any kind whatsoever, so we'll have to have a look at those. They're also the wrong colour as well, they're too white, so I'll probably either get another set or paint them, but for whatever reason they're not working. But we'll look at that. It could just be the earth wire or something like that. So back bumper is okay. There's a little bit of nothing spectacular. We won't be doing anything with that, be leaving that. So it's a 10-year-old car, so we're not going like too over the top. Give it a damn good clean. We'll clean the seats. There's no dents whatsoever on the side. All good. Windows are down, they're not broken or anything like that. Needs a good clean inside. Seats are rotten as usual. It's got the new set of mats that I put in it, but they're 3 years old now and they're looking a bit tired, so I will be putting a new set in, different ones that I buy on Amazon now rather than those cheap ones that I used to buy in Wilco. Same goes for inside. It's all good. That looks like the original mat. That's not the mat. Has it been smoked in? Is that ash on the floor down there? Yeah, I think it is. Doesn't smell of smoke. Although my sense of smell hasn't come back properly since I had COVID the other week, that is definitely ash. So yeah, it obviously has been smoked in, but hopefully with the window open, it really doesn't smell. But I'll use the old ozone machine in here as well to get rid of any smells that maybe I can't smell. But yeah, no, that is definitely cigarette ash down there, definitely. Yeah, as I say, seats are dirty. Yeah, so in the back of it's all okay. It just needs clean really on the inside. Let me just pop the bonnet and we'll come back. Right, so at the moment, it's got an inadequate battery in it. I took that battery over with me when I went over to look at it just to start it. So the battery that was in it is actually a brand spanking new one, but it was completely flat, so I need to get it on charge. So it's an EFB Halford's battery, so I dread to think how much that costs. That was probably the best part of getting on for 200 quid, I expect, getting one in Halford's. It was the car was serviced in January, so not very long ago. Engine bay is quite dirty, so we'll give that a good clean. So I put, as I've shown you those pictures, I don't think I changed the front panel. I think it was just the bumper. Got a bit of a crack there. We won't worry too much about that, but yeah, it all looks pretty good actually. I don't really remember the car, to be honest with you, as much as I can look at the pictures, because I can't look back at the videos like I can on other ones. But yeah, let me have a look under the back. Let me just grab a torch and we'll have a look under the back, and I'll show you what I mean about the lack of rust. Now this was one, I looked at my pricings on this, you know, what it cost me to do and so on when I've originally done this, and this was one of the ones that Connor did the rear beam. I think it was the first one that he did the rear beam on. So it had a new rear beam, not new, second hand obviously. But yeah, MOT in January, which was done at a local garage, I thought was a bit, when I looked at it, I thought to myself, that's a bit harsh. But I'll show you, I'll show you what I mean. Let me just grab a torch and I'll show you. Right, rear beam. There's no rust on that rear beam at all. It's tiny little bit of surface rust, absolutely barely anything at all. In fact, it's one of the cleanest ones I've seen. See what I mean? Look, it's just a little bit of surface rust there. The rest of it is just a bit discoloured. So I don't really know where they're coming from with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The springs are okay. So where the hell they are getting the fact that the rear suspension is rusty, I do not know. I've never actually seen it mentioned as like rear suspension. It's a bit generic, isn't it? Did they mean the beam? Did they mean the springs? Did they mean the shocks? They haven't said. They just said rear suspension. And also, they said exhaust is corroded. This must have had they must have put a new exhaust on this, because that's virtually new. It's still shiny there. So there's no way, shape or form that is rusty. So they must, although I haven't got a receipt for it, they must, well that's missing, and that's missing. They must have put one on. Can't think of anything else. I certainly didn't when the car was done. So yeah, that needs a bolt in it, and that needs a bolt in it. That's probably going to be rattling around, I would imagine. But yeah, nothing wrong with that suspension whatsoever. I was going to clean, I probably will white brush it, but I was thinking about hammer writing it, but I'm not going to bother. Doesn't need it. Really doesn't need it. So yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, that. So it's obviously it's definitely had a new exhaust since that MOT. It must have done. But yeah, weird. Very strange. So I'm assuming there's spare wheels in there. Just turn torch off. Assuming the spare's still here. Yeah, unused spare by the looks of it. So let me grab the keys. I've got the keys here. I've got my keys in the pocket, in my pocket. So I'm just going to get in the car and we'll have a look on the inside. That's virtually out. Look, that screws. Bloody hell, they're not even done up. What if someone's tried to steal those? That is almost falling off. You could almost pull that screw out, and that one is out. Bloody hell. I wonder why. That's really strange. So we need to... I can't do this one-handed, that's it. Just to hold it in place for a minute. We'll come back to that. Luckily we've got that new one, so we don't need to buy a new one. Right, keys. So it was serviced at 62,000 miles. It's now on 63,000 miles. So about 1,000 miles ago. What I noticed on the drive home, which I hadn't noticed the other day, let me just shut the door, is the mileage is flashing. I hadn't noticed that, and it was only when I stopped at Halfords on the way back. I had to get a couple of bits in Halfords, and I stopped at Halfords, and as I left Halfords I noticed that the mileage was flashing. Now the stereo works, the steering controls work. It's not very good radio reception, but that's obviously nothing to do with the thing. But if I put the stereo on, I'll show you. Turn the music down. If I press the Windows button, nothing happens. So the Blue Me is obviously knackered. Well, it might, a proxy alignment might do it. Might possibly do it. But yeah, hit the Windows button, nothing. But the buttons do work. The volume buttons are a little bit intermittent. You really have to sort of press them, but I think they're often like that in these. I think they just get dirty underneath. But yeah, you just have to press them a bit hard. So we'll have to sort that out. So can't speak. So if a proxy alignment doesn't work and it turns out to be the Blue Me unit, I then have to make a decision. Do I try and get another Blue Me unit, which are really quite pricey at the moment? Well, they have been for quite some time. Really quite pricey. Bearing in mind, a few years ago I used to pick them up for sort of 60, 70 quid. Now you can add at least 100 onto that. And mental prices. And of course, as we know, we have to be careful which one we get. We don't want a version 1. I think in a 2012 car you only need a version 2, of which there was less around. Unfortunately, eBay ads and what have you say 2008 to 2015. That's not the case, as you know. I'm sure you've seen my videos before. Free CD, I believe there is one, because it started playing extremely loudly when I got in. Now that's what I call classic rock. Not my cup of tea. A bit of Queen started blasting out. Bohemian Rhapsody, I think it was, which I actually quite like, but there you go. So yeah, free CD. The radio reception is not very good. So I may, if you remember, I bought that aerial for the blue car, and I didn't put it on in the end. So I will obviously clean up the contacts on the aerial first, and try that. If not, I'll stick that other aerial on. The aircon is not very cold. So I will get the aircon done. I don't believe that I changed the front panel, the condenser or anything. And I don't believe that I actually topped up aircon on this. So in theory, this may have never ever been topped up. So I will get that done. Hopefully there's no leaks and I can get it done. What else was there? Was something else? Oh yeah, are these all okay? Yeah, they're all okay. That's good. Saves taking the stereo out. Now, the other thing is, of course, if the Blue Me... So, I'm going back to the Blue Me. So, if the Blue Me doesn't work when I do a proxy alignment, I can either get that Blue Me unit repaired, buy another Blue Me unit, or stick an aftermarket stereo in there. If I do an aftermarket stereo, I've really got to... I'll have to wait. That's the problem, because I'll have to wait, because I'll obviously be buying it from AliExpress. I do have a single DIN one, but I don't have the module for the controls, so I would have put that into a pop. Otherwise, I've got to try and find a module that works. Which you know, other people have. The stereo I've got two actually. If you remember, I've got that Pioneer one, which has got a phone stand, and you use the screen of your phone. So I might actually, if the Blue Me don't work, I might actually put that in this car, because I've had it quite some time and I've never put it in, and again that will be another stereo to try. I think it works on iPhone and on Android as well, so it's actually quite a good idea, because it's literally you get an app with it. I don't know if you've seen it, I've probably shown you it before. You get an app with it, and the app is like your screen of your stereo, which is really good. So yeah, I might well do that. That will give me another spare stereo. That will be two spare stereos in the file. It's got a full service history pretty much. Up until when I got it, it had the full service history. There's only one stamp in it, which was done in January this year. So I don't know whether she had it serviced before then. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the mileage was when I sold it. I'll have to double check that. But a good 2 years had passed before it was serviced. So as I say, I'm not going to service it because it was done in January. I will check the levels of the oil and the coolant and what have you. But there's not a massive amount to do on it. So I've got to sort the stereo out, possibly change that. Flashing mileage has obviously got to be sorted out one way or the other, which is sort of connected. I've got to sort that. The main thing is sorting that bumper out, and then obviously a good clean. I don't think there was anything else. It runs fine, it changes gear fine, it stops fine, so I will check the brakes to see what they're like. But all in all, apart from it being filthy, as they always are, it's a cracking little car really. Now let me tell you the story of why we've got this. Let me just shut the bonnet, I will come back and I'll tell you the story, which is quite a sad one unfortunately, but give me a second, I'll come straight back. So yeah, as I say, quite a sad story on this one. So as I said to you, I sold this in October 2019. It was a Copart car, which was a relatively quick turnaround, I think. And I sold it to a lady named Jackie. And I do remember her husband came over when they picked the car up. He picked the car up, and they lived probably 5 miles away. And her husband ran here when he picked it up. That's how I remembered him, because he ran here. I got a text from him last week. What are we today? Yeah, no, it was at the weekend actually. I got a text from him at the weekend, and he said, "Hello, Paul. I don't know if you remember me. We bought a car from you a few years ago. Would you be interested in taking it off my hands?" So I assumed that probably upgrading or something like that, and wanted to know whether I wanted to buy it back or not. So I said to him, I don't recall which one it was, please remind me. So he sent me the registration number. Of course, I looked back on my records and saw what car it was, and I said, yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, let me have a think about it, and I'll pop over and have a look. And I said to him, why are you selling it? And he replied to me and he said, sorry to have to tell you, he said, like this, the situation is not good. He said, unfortunately, my wife died suddenly 3 months ago. And the car has been sitting on my drive ever since, and basically every time he walks out of his front door, it reminds him. And he's only really just getting into sorting things out, and he just wanted the car gone. So I'm going to tell you how much I paid for it. I said to him, part of the reason whether I will buy it or not, I said, what sort of money are you looking for? And he said, I don't know, Paul. He said, £750,000. And when I went there, and I'd already thought to myself, there's no way I'm only giving him 750 quid. I couldn't do that. I mean, it's £1,000 is cheap anyway. And I went over there and I said, look, I'm not going to, I said, yeah, I'll have it. I said, I'll pick it up Friday, which is today. I said, I'm not going to insult you by only giving you £750. You said 750,000. I said, I'll give you 1,000. He went, yeah, that's fine. He just wanted it gone, basically. And of course, he couldn't really sell it as it, well, he could sell it as it is, but it needs a little bit of work doing on it. And he just wanted it gone. So I've got this car for £1,000, which is an absolute bargain. There's not much to do on it. So yeah, unfortunately, his wife Jackie died 3 months ago. And so I've decided to call this car Project Jackie. What more could I call it? I've got to call it Project Jackie, haven't I? So yeah, so this is Project Jackie. I don't think it will be with me long, because there's not that much to do. I'm going to try and get most of it done today. I need to clean the seats because they are quite dirty. Obviously I've got to sort that Bluetooth bit out. Yeah, bumper, that's the front bit is the main bit to do. Clean the engine, get the battery on charge, get that new battery back in. Check all the levels, check the brakes. If the brakes do need doing, I will do them. I doubt if they do, as it was serviced in January. I'm assuming they probably would have checked that. So let's get on with it. I'm going to get this front bumper off first, and we'll attack that, get that done, get that back on. So let's get that done, let's do it. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to give it a wash. I'm going to get the, I've got to water the front garden, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back and give it a jet wash, give it some snow foam, just to get the general grime off of it, and then we'll get that front bumper off, get that repaired, get that back on the car. I don't know about the painting bit, whether to how far to go into that. I don't want to start rubbing stuff down and priming and then it not matching and that sort of stuff. So I'd rather just try and sort of if I can repair it from the inside, and then try and maybe just rub it down a little bit and just sort of touch it in maybe. I don't know, we'll see how it looks, but yeah, that's the plan. So I'll be back in a minute. I'll stick you up on time lapse while we give it a bit of a snow foam, and then we'll come back and get this bumper off and get it done. Let's do it. Right, there you go. Oh, battery's about to run out again. Yeah, I think I better stop. Right, it's all nice and clean now, as opposed to this one, which is dirty. I've run out of snow foam now, so I need to get some more. I might get some of that one that Danny at All in the Detailing was demonstrating, the lovely lime and pink coloured ones. I might get one of those. I noticed something else while I was cleaning it. I guess when that was damaged, it dislodged the arch liner, and this arch liner is destroyed. It's obviously hit the tyre and it's destroyed it. So third car in a row, I've got to get another bloody arch liner. Typical. So I won't get the one that I got for that one. I'll get the one I got for the other car because it was much better quality, which that's a nuisance. Yeah, completely shredded. And something else I noticed after I washed it as well, still got a bit of dirt over it where I blasted out the back of the boot. A little bit of a rust thing there, and I got a feeling that was there when I did this car, and I think I touched it up. I, repaired it in some way, but it's obviously coming through again, so I need to rub that back down and get some paint on that again. So I'll do that again as well. It was 3 years ago I did it, and it's obviously coming back for some reason. I can't remember how I did it, but I imagine I rubbed it down and repainted it, but yeah, it's coming through again. It's only surface, but I guess that was a little chip that wasn't repaired once, and so it's oxidised and started to go rusty. But apart from that, it's pretty clean, apart from the obvious bits that we've gone over. It's not too bad at all. Wheels are not fantastic. Well, the back wheels are fine. The front wheels are a little bit iffy, but they'll do. They'll be fine. It's going to make a nice cheap car for someone. Not too cheap, but cheap. I was tempted to put a new bumper on it, but what I found on eBay, there are pop bumpers, so I would have to stick those on, which isn't an issue. But I have found there's someone on eBay who is doing supply and colour, supply and painted to code for, I think it was 170 something. Most of the other people are like 220 something plus delivery, some of them. But this was, I think it was 176 or 179, something like that. So I thought I might give one a go. It is a pop bumper, and I don't know what the lead time will be, but I think I might get one anyway, because when you think, I think was too much, but I got charged for that blue car when I got two bumpers done. I got charged £300 for the two bumpers to have them painted, and the bumpers themselves, decent ones, you're anywhere between 55, 75 quid. So it's actually cheaper and less hassle and quicker to get one from eBay painted to code. See what it's like. So I might get one anyway, not for this particularly, because it'll probably take a little bit too long, and I'm hoping I can get that to be reasonable, because apart from that, there's nothing else wrong with the bumper. So yeah, one error I made, of course I've washed the car and I've got to get the front bumper off, and of course the ground is sopping wet. So I might have some lunch and then come back, and hopefully it's a nice sunny hot day, so hopefully it will have dried off a little bit by then. Am I still filming on time lapse? No. Good. Okay, so yeah, we'll be back in a little bit, and we'll get that bumper off and have a look underneath, see what's going on. There you can see how shredded that is. That's obviously just pushed it back, hasn't it? And the top, as the wheel's been going around, it's just destroyed it. That's really annoying. Luckily the things are intact. Yeah, it's all good under here. All good. No broken headlight lugs or anything like that. Obviously that would have been done before. I can't even remember. I know I've showed you the pictures of how it was before, and I'll put one of those pictures up now. Just shows you the front. But it's basically the bumper missing, wasn't it? On the front. I think that's all I did. I can't remember off the top of my head now. But yeah, that's all good. All I've got to do is the tabs are on the bumper. Oh, it's upside down, or rather up the right way. The tabs are all on the bumper, so I'll take those off. I'll plastic weld that, put it on, and then we'll have a go at that. Have a little go at this. See if we can line it back up and plastic weld that on the inside as well. So I'm just heating up my. If you remember, I don't know if you remember. If for you regular viewers and those of you who've been with me for quite some time. Back in the height of the pandemic, I ordered some pasties from the Cornish Pasty company in Cornwall, of all places. Funny that, isn't it? And yeah, got loads of these lovely pasties, and this is my second order that I placed a few months ago, and I'm on my last one, so I'm having that for my lunch today. Really nice, recommend them. They have them on special offer, like $27.99 for 10, including delivery, next day delivery, and they're delivered in a nice big polystyrene container full of ice. Really lovely they are. Anyway, this isn't love pasty, although I do, and I'm sure some of you do as well. Yeah, all good so far. Really, I'm not rushing on this because there's not really much to do. It would have been nice to get it all done in a day, but that ain't going to happen. There's a bit too much to do in a day. But I'm sure for the likes of people like Mark at Resurrect, who starts work at 7 o'clock in the morning till God knows what time, he'd have it all done in half a day, I expect. But I'm a bit slower than that because you know, I take my time. It's not my living. So yeah, anyway, enough of that. So yeah, let's get on with it. I'm just going to have my lunch. Once soon as that's heated up, I'm going to order one of them, and then we'll fix. I'm not going to bother filming that. We've fixed that, filmed that a million times before. So we'll get that, put it on, and then have a go at this. Yeah, I don't really want to be painting it on the outside. Just touching it in if I can. If I can get it equal, it's a little bit cracked, so I'll see what I can do with it. I don't want to be messing around doing lots of painting. I'm going to sell this cheap. I got it really cheap, so I'm going to sell it cheaper than I normally do. I'm still going to make a really nice profit on it, but I'm not going to sell it silly cheap just because I got it cheap. It's a good car, so we'll decide that. I haven't really decided, to be honest, but yeah, anyway. I'll get on with this one eventually. Oh, by the way, on this one, just so as you know, there is a video in progress for this, but I didn't have enough for a video on Wednesday. So again, this is your Sunday video. I apologise for not having one for Wednesday, but with that particular week of my shift pattern, I didn't. I never seem to get time, unless I've got anything already recorded beforehand. I don't have time to do anything for Wednesday. Hence why you didn't get a Wednesday video this week. But that will be next Wednesday's video. I've found a bonnet. I'm thinking it might actually come today. Obviously, you know, I've got the door, I haven't put it on yet. But yeah, fingers crossed I can get this done pretty quick now. It won't take much longer. So they're probably more or less going to be done at the same sort of time. And I'm still waiting to get the C back from the body shop. I sent him a message last week and said, how's my convertible coming along? I may have already told you this, apologies if I have. And he said, yeah, I hope we've been right up against it, stacked out, hopefully by the end of next week, which is today. Because I've got this, I haven't bothered ringing him. I have got somewhere to put it because this is MOT'd. I've insured it, obviously. It's not taxed, but I will tax it, and then I'll park it outside. So that's not an issue. This one is not insured at the moment. It's sawned. I think I sawned it. If not, I must do that. So not insured, not MOT'd, not sawned, but of course that's on the drive. The C is insured, not MOT'd, I don't think. No, it's not MOT'd. And that is actually, I don't know what the tax status of that is, but obviously I need, one way or the other, I've got to get it back here anyway, and then I can sort it out, because I've still got work to do on that. But yeah, I was going to swear then, God knows when I'm going to get that back. Let's hope we'll get it back next week. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on. So this is, as I said, Project Jackie, Jacqui. Yeah, Really sad, really sad. Anyway, let's get on with it. Right, they are. That's the bumper done. Light fixed. I had a bit of an issue with some bulbs. I always seem to have a problem with these bulbs on the DRLs. But I've welded, plastic welded that bit at the back there. It's not fantastic. Obviously, I haven't got any paint on it yet, but it's nice and level now. So I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to hide it a little bit. I'm not going over the top with it. I'm certainly not going to get it professionally repaired. I'm certainly not going to put another bumper on for that. It is what it is. The light's fixed, the lights all work, bumper's back on. Neither, I don't know if you saw on time lapse, you probably didn't actually, that on both sides of the bumper, just here, where the bumper fixes to the wing, neither side had bolts in. Now I certainly don't let cars go like that. So I'm wondering whether this has been off. I'm wondering whether they've had some bottom arms done in that 3 years, and whether they just haven't put the bolts back. Because as you can see there, that gap, it needs nipping up. Now I'm wondering whether there's actually the nuts on the wing. But as you know, I've literally just bought some M6 nuts. So using nuts and washers, I can actually put bolts in. So that arch line's got to come off anyway. I'm just going to have a quick look and see if they're actually, let's have a look while I'm filming. The other side I felt, I couldn't really tell. You can't really get your finger in there to see, I don't know. Can't tell from here. The arch line is in the way really. I need to peel it back out of the way. And that one's got to come off anyway, so I'll do that when I do the arch liner. I think I won't worry about it doing that. So I have ordered an arch liner. The one I ordered for $20.99, which was the cheap one, are now $29.99. So I've ordered a different one for $25.99. Why they've put the price up from £21 to £29, £30, I don't know. Slight exaggeration in price. Yeah, so I've got to wait for that to come now. So that'll probably take a little while. Obviously I put a new one on that one, which wasn't a brilliant one, but it's on. I'm not swapping them over. It takes as long as it takes. I've got other things to be getting on with anyway on this. So I've got a little bit of paint to do on that bumper. I've got that little rusty spot on the back wheel arch that I've got to take care of. I am going to get multi-ECU scan on the car. I've just got to shut the bonnet and make sure it all lines up with the bumper, just in case the bumper needs to come in or out or anything. I'm going to change that number plate on the back before it falls off and leaves its screws on the ground for sorry, I was pausing then because the Tesco man that did our delivery while we both had COVID, who left the blue crates behind, he's just gone up the road. I might see if he wants to take them. I'm pretty sure it was the same bloke. I'll ask him in a minute. Well, where was I? Yeah, so I just need to shut the bonnet down and make sure that it closes properly, really. Yeah, okay, let's get on. And I do want to get multi-ECU scan on the case as well. I'll make sure that, well, see if I can get that Blue Me to work. So I've done a proxy alignment on this car. The reason I haven't shown you it is because I've done a separate video which will go out next Wednesday, really explaining in detail how to do a proxy alignment and what causes it and so on and so forth. So the Blue Me unit is broke in this car, as I've discovered, although it thinks it's been removed, so it's done the proxy alignment and the mileage has stopped flashing, so that's quite good. However, it don't work. So I've got a choice to make on this car. What I might do is, I've got that Pioneer unit. I think I might do that. I might use that Pioneer unit and put that in here. I've got a cream surround. It's a single din, and it's got a little what do you call it? A little dock that you put your phone in, and as I explained earlier, it uses your phone as the screen for the stereo, which is really cool. I'll just turn the ignition off. And so I think I'm probably going to do that on this one, and then what I'm going to do is I know there's other people on the various Facebook groups who have actually put that in, and they will know what module I need to get the stereo working, to get the buttons working. So we'll forget about the Blue and Me unit in the back, as long as it's not causing a parasitic drain, in which case I will have to disconnect it. And I will have a look before I make that final decision. I will look and see if there are any version 2 modules around, because if there are, I'll swap it out. But they're too expensive, and I've already got that stereo, and I think it will be quite a nice little fit as well. So we'll do that. We'll get that, either get one ordered or get this. That'll be in the next video, swapping this stereo over, and then we'll try and find out which module we need, and we'll see if we can get the stereo controls to work. So that's it. So I actually did. Yeah, so I've done that. So I connected to the body computer. The only error was showing the proxy configuration control. I haven't connected to the dashboard or anything yet. I didn't actually try and connect to the Blue and Me, actually. Let's try and connect to the Blue and Me. I didn't actually do that in the previous video. Let's see if it actually... No response, yeah, as I expected. Right, so let's connect to the instrument panel, and which is the dash, of course. Oh, I've got it switched off. Does help if you switch it on. That's probably why Blue and Me didn't connect. No, we know that's broken anyway. Let's try again. No response from module. It's switched on now, so we'll give it a go. See what it says. Should connect this time. Yeah. Let's have a look at any errors. Shouldn't be. Convergence node intermittent. That's because we've done it, so we'll clear that, and that will go away. Disconnect from there. And then we'll go to the airbag. Try that. I'm sure that'll be fine. I didn't change the airbags or anything on this car originally. No reason why it should be 40. No fault codes. That's good. I think that's about it. We don't need to really check anything else. We've done the body computer. Yeah, no, that's all we need to do on there. So that's the end of that. So yeah, we just need to make a decision about this stereo now. So once I've finished today, I'll have a look on eBay and see what's available. I'm not expecting there to be any on there, to be fair, but you never know. So I suppose the next things we've got to do, I've got to sort out these little bits of painting on it, but it's a bit late in the day now. I'm not sure what time it is. We'll have a look at my computer. Yeah, it's 4:10, so it's a bit late in the day now. So I am going to clean the seats on the next video. There's very little to do. It'll be ready. I think a few more hours on this car and it'll be done. Obviously the stereo will slow me down a little bit because I've got to do whatever I'm going to do with that, and of course I've ordered that arch liner. It's been dispatched apparently, so hopefully that might come next week sometime, and we can get that finished, and that'll be that. Right, so that's it for the time being. So we'll be back. We'll be back shortly and see what else there is that we can quickly get done today, and then we'll finish this video. Yeah, see you in a sec. So that's it for today. That'll be. It's not even really a walk around, was it? Really. I'll put some paint on that. If you can see, it's not brilliant. It's not brilliant by any stretch. You can still see it, but it's better than it was. It takes the eye away from it a little bit. I probably could have made a better job of it, to be fair, but I just thought it'll do. It is what it is. This is going to be a really, really, really quick turnaround. The only thing that's going to slow me down slightly is the wheel arch liner, which I've got to get still, and of course that stereo that's got to be sorted out. But apart from that, job's a good one. It's almost done. I don't normally do work on these cars at the weekends because weekends are for families. But I am going to do the seats tomorrow. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to take them out. I'm just going to do them in the car. They were probably done. In fact, yeah, they would have definitely been done when I originally sold it. But of course, they've had bottoms on it for the last 3 years, so they need a good clean. And they do show up the dirt. These particular dogtooth seats. There's no burns or rips or anything. It's just a matter of general dirt, really. So it's yeah. Apart from I'm going to do this little bit here tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week. I'll do that little bit next week. I will check the brakes because there's no mention on the service history of the brakes being done, so I will check them. There was no mention on the MOT that they were low in January, but I am going to check them. If they need doing, I'll do them, obviously. Apart from that, yeah, I think we're pretty much done. Just the one day. So I think I only envisage having one more video on this, and then it will be all finished, ready to go. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think on this return Project Jackie? So yeah, very sad that the lady that I sold this to in 2019 has sadly passed away, but I'm calling it Project Jackie in memorial of her, and the car will be passed on to somebody else who will appreciate it. Very sad, very sad. Yeah, I can't say much more than that. It's brought me down a little bit, but yeah, I think it's a fitting name to call it, named after the lady who bought it from me. I'm only sorry that I don't actually remember her. As I say, I remembered her husband, and I recognised him when I saw him, but I don't remember her. But the car's in memory of her. So that's it for the first video. As always, I hope you've enjoyed the project. Well, the first day of the project. Give us a thumbs up. I welcome your comments. Thanks for watching, and see you on Wednesday for possibly a how-to, possibly this one, not sure. There might be a how-to on proxy alignment, flashing mileage stroke proxy alignment, but it may be video on this one, possibly, depends. We'll see. But anyway, until Wednesday, thanks for watching. As always, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.